So Yuck, man, tell me, there's this whole thing with YBN Almighty. This young kid is out in New York, and he gets the shit beat out of him. They steal his Rap-A-Lot chain, and we all know that chain carries a big, big, big load behind it, meaning you take that chain, you might as well go shoot yourself in the head somewhere, right?
Basically, man, like I've been saying on all my lives, that was the wrong fucking chain to take. You know what I mean? Period. That Rap-A-Lot chain, man. That man is a boss, man. And they found out the hard way, man. Like they try to say he was dry snitching, like J Prince dry snitch. No, man, he sent the mob kite out to the people he respected out there, like check your little homie before I have to check him. You know what I mean? Period. So with that being said, them chains have been returned. You know what I mean? The Rap-A-Lot chain is back in J Prince possession, and the YBN chain is back in J Prince possession. So that lets you know what type of power this dude got. You know what I mean? Why people talking all that, oh man, New York ain't got no respect for him. They ain't gonna do nothing. They don't give a fuck. Them chains is back in Houston, man.
Wow.
Period. And you could put that picture behind here. You can put that picture.
So Yuck, you just got done battling some of the baddest rappers in the Bay Area. You're at Too Short Studio, East Oakland, West Oakland at the time.
Right.
And, you had a little falling out with CNH. What was that over? Was that just some bullshit, or was there something real about that whole experience?
So basically, fast forward in time, because still I could continue from the Too Short situation, how we, did the Ice Cream Man and so on. But we'll go back. But basically, I went to Rap-A-Lot. I got signed to Rap-A-Lot just from being up under the same umbrella, because when we got signed to Version, they had a black division, an urban division called New Tribe Records. So they had Rap-A-Lot there, which was Scarface, the Ghetto Boys,
Wow.
which would build everything else that comes with it, Do or Die, everything. Do or Die, Tila, everything, right? Devin. And then us, you know what I mean, on the other end, and then, so on and so on. So we'd be in studio sessions with these brothers, you know what I mean? And Tone Capone, who made I Got Five on it, they recruited him to start doing beats for Rap-A-Lot. So it'd be Tone Capone, and we recruited Mike Dean, you know what I mean? So it'd be Tone Capone and Mike Dean working on our beats, and then go across to the next studio session and work on Scarface or the Ghetto Boy beats. So we, became accustomed with each other. And not only that, the big homie Seagram, you know what I mean? He was the first one from the Ville signed to Rap-A-Lot and so on. So, just Oakland and Rap-A-Lot has a good rapport. Like a lot of my homeboys was working there.
So what's the overall relationship with Oakland and Houston? There's always been this connection. And was it through you guys?
No, hell no. I mean, Jay got family members from Oakland, you know what I mean? So he always been, Jay Prince, he always been, accustomed to Oakland people, you know what I mean? So he got down with Seagram back in the day, True Black Records.
So there's always been that affiliation, because it's a long history. Yeah.
Always been that Ville.
Yeah.
and
Ville and Houston and Rap-A-Lot, Jay Prince.
Definitely. So with my whole neighborhood down there working at Rap-A-Lot at the time, you know what I mean? Shout out to one of my big homies, Rico. You know what I mean? Between Rico and Tone Capone, they was in J Prince ear like, yo, y'all need to sign Yukmouth. You know what I mean? Period. So I didn't know that was going down behind closed doors, but shout out them two brothers. But J Prince actually came in a session where he had a Scarface session, and then they, came to my session as far as Tone Capone and Mike Dean. J Prince came over too, and he seen me in the studio by myself. And I was just putting it all together, you know what I mean? Just leaving none verse, the hook, everything, just putting it all together, controlling the show. And he was like, damn, you need your own deal. You doing all this shit by yourself. And I'm like, you know what I mean? At the time, I'm a group player. I'm like, I never thought about going solo. And then once he said that, I said, damn, I am doing everything. You know what I mean? I'm doing every fucking thing. I don't know where the fuck I'm at. But he's supposed to be at the studio.
Was he in jail at the time?
Nah, he was chilling. Yeah, I mean, he just didn't make it. He was late to the studio or whatever. He was chilling, doing his thing. But I was in the studio getting it in, and shit, Jay came and witnessed it like, yo, you need your own deal. You need to be at Rap-A-Lot. He said, you smoke a lot anyway, so you need to be, because that's when we was code naming. He was drank a lot, Nums was drank a lot, I was smoke a lot. So he like, you smoke a lot, right? He said, you need to be at Rap-A-Lot. I'm like, you're right. I need to be at Rap-A-Lot. So we began the paperwork, and that was start the beef between CNH and me. I ain't never had no beef with CNH.
So CNH was like, hey, man, you're under my umbrella. And you said, hey, I just got the biggest deal offered to me from the biggest dude in the game, Jay Prince, Rap-A-Lot.
So he wasn't feeling that shit at all. So it took him like 2 years to sign off on the actual deal, which it don't take that long. But he was just like, didn't want me to do a solo deal. Like, he had us wait for 2 years. But without that, he's the reason for the double album. Because I got the recording. I got money. You know what I mean? So soon as it was done, they paying for everything, but they just can't give me no money until he signed off. But they paying for all the studio sessions, hotel, everything. So I get the recording. I'm recording like a motherfucker.
So in a weird way, CNH was holding your career back a little bit, and he was kind of, in your perspective, you felt he was being a little selfish, holding on. From his perspective, he's saying, "Hey, man, I own you. You're my guy." You know.
Well, he didn't own me, but the thing was, he mad that Jay beat him to the punch. He should have had that shit lined up, just like the Wu-Tang, you know what I mean? When they have the Wu-Tang all that loud as a whole, then you could go sign Method Man to Def Jam and go sign ODB over here and so on, then come back as a whole that loud. That's what I thought it was gonna be. Like, okay, I could go to Rap-A-Lot, Numb could go somewhere, you know what I mean? Drew could go somewhere, whatever. Then we still come back and be on C-No Records when it's time to do the big shit. So he wasn't looking like that, you know what I mean? He wasn't thinking about getting niggas solo deals. He was just all Luniz. I like, yo, give Numb a deal. He was supposed to give Numb a deal after that. He didn't get Numb a solo deal, none of that shit. He just like, I don't know what the fuck. He got mad and got focused on me, you know what I mean, for nothing. Like, just like, oh, fuck him, fuck this, fuck that, fuck that. And anyway, with that contract being him finally signing off, he had a clause in there that I'm not a loony no more. Like, how would you kick me out the group I created? You know what I mean? Just for me to go solo, right? So that's when I start beefing. You know what I mean? Like, you gonna kick me out of group I created, nigga? Just to get a solo deal? I signed off on the shit. You know what I mean? And I got mad at Numb too, because how would you let this shit go down? He could replace me with somebody else? All right, nigga, cool. So boom, I went on full blast, like gassing his ass on the album. You know what I mean? That's why I thugged out the Avalation. You hearing me going hard on him, hearing me throw a couple punchlines at niggas. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, they was hating on me. They was like trying to hold a nigga back and got mad because somebody offered me a deal when he could have offered me the deal. You dig?
And sure, and what would have been a cooler move for CNH would joint venture with Rap-A-Lot and say, yeah, you know, let's do something together. And
he didn't even try to do that. You know what I mean? It's like,
but at the time, you guys are hotter than pancakes, man. Everybody was trying to get a piece of you at that time, and so that's just how it goes in the business world. But is that beef over? Are you guys cool if you saw each other in the streets?
I'm cool with that dude. I ain't got no, like, he put his own, man. So I always have that respect. I ain't gonna be no sucker nigga that's out there, oh, fuck him. Nah, without him, it wouldn't be no Luniz. Without the Luniz, it wouldn't be no Yukmouth and so on and so on, Drew Down and all the other shit that come with it. So I respect it, and I respect it for that. So I ain't gonna get on here dissing the motherfucker. He put his money up and believed in us before anybody. So I respect him for that and always will. You know, but it was him. He didn't want to go on these outbursts and dissing me. So you got to ask that brother that. I'm cool, though. I ain't got no problem with
that's good to hear. You know, sometimes the business gets the best of us, and it's just a circumstantial situation. But the good news is that at this point in time, your career is just going through the roof, your solo career.
Thank you.
I mean, you're going gold in every which way. And at that time, are you starting to learn the business of the industry? We call it show business. You got the show down. Now, were you starting to learn the business game?
Oh, I learned the game quick. I was one of the first after Scarface to have a joint venture label deal at Rap-A-Lot.
Which was unheard of at the time.
Unheard of. Not for a rap. I came in quick. And Jay recognized, you know what I mean, that my Bay independent grind, he recognized, like, I went to a whole nother label and did it to make him recognize, like, oh, he needs his deal. I did the United Ghetto DVD and soundtrack.
Which was huge.
When no rappers was doing DVDs. Like, I think the only
Some guys
rapper
in the
he
East
wasn't
Coast,
solidified was like French Montana. He was doing the Coke shit, Coke boy shit. But, he wasn't solidified. He was underground, like a mixtape type of rapper. He wasn't on like that. Like, no big rappers was doing DVDs. So I'm like, okay, let me do a DVD called United Ghettos of America, you know what I mean, and a soundtrack. So boom, I go get another deal at another record label. I ain't gonna say that. Get big money. You know what I mean? Couple $100,000. Fast, you know what I mean? He gets he gets an alert of it, and, you know, he buys the deal out and give me my own deal. So it took me to do that, you know what I mean, to make them recognize, oh, he's serious, he get down. If I don't do it, somebody else will. The same shit CNH should have did. If I don't do it, somebody else will. Let me put this money. Okay, if Rap-A-Lot put some money up for my deal, you supposed to outdo that, CNH. You're supposed to, whatever they offer me, you're supposed to double
match
that.
Match it or beat it.
Yeah, match it or beat it. So Jay was like, I'm gonna beat it. They gave you a couple, I'll give you 3. Come over here. So I went to Rap-A-Lot and I got my deal. So I was learning the independent shit just from being around CNH, being in Oakland, you know what I mean, seeing people like Too Short selling shit out the trunk, you know what I mean, being around the Bay Area where you see E40 create an enterprise with him and his family independently, then go to job, get a big ass deal, you know what I mean? So I come from that.
Why do you think Oakland's always bred this independent spirit? It's kind of in the DNA of the Oakland guys that they're all on this independent grind. What is something in the water out there?
It's just more of Northern Cali, you know what I mean? Too Short was the first selling shit out the trunk, fact. But it's more of a Northern Cali thing because you got to go up to Sacramento with Sebo and them. You know, they was doing their independent thing heavy too, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It was a lot of us, you know what I mean, period, that just got the motherfucking memo. You know what I mean, period. And this is before me. You know what I mean? I'm listening to Sebo and them and fucking 40 and them in junior high school, Mac Dre and them in junior high school when they was a Romper Room gang and it was really a fucking show called The Romper Room. You know what I mean? With Miss, hey, looking at a little, you know what I mean? Whatever the lady was doing. Right. So I come from that and watching these brothers go from selling shit out the trunk, selling shit in moms and pop stores to being signed to these big labels. So I witnessed it growing up in hip hop and growing up around the Bay Area.
And for the younger audience, a lot of them don't remember the days where you would sell CDs out of trunks, tapes out of trunks,
all that.
And there was no YouTube, there was no social media. So you had to go from city to city and really market yourself and real guerrilla style.
Like I remember CNH going to Rainbow Records in LA. You know what I mean? We driving from the Bay to go to Rainbow Records to press up and then bring the copies back and then put them in all the moms and pop stores, the T.Y. Uzis and the Rasputins and shit like that, all that type of shit. We had to drop them boxes off and then go collect money out when they sell. So I watched all that shit coming up. So it was a blessing that I was able to use and your connections, you know what I mean? You get connections in the game that you could, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Double back on. That deal came from the Outlaws, you know what I mean? Shout out to Outlaws that got me that United Ghettos of America deal because I bought them to Rap-A-Lot. You know what I mean? After I did the Pac We Still Ballin' tribute and then I did the remix with them. And then bought them to Rap-A-Lot and got them a deal to where they was getting a lot of money. So they looked back out for me, you know what I mean? So the Outlaws got me the other independent deal for the 200K. You know what I mean? That actually got me to deal with Rap-A-Lot, the joint venture. So, you know what I mean? One hand wash another, 2 hands wash your face. So shout out my Outlaw brothers, you know?
Right on, shout out to the Outlaws. Now you got a whole new movement with the Smoke-A-Lot label. Yes. Now is that an imprint still on Rap-A-Lot or is that just a pure independent move that you busted in your career?
Well, I had Smoke-A-Lot before I was on Rap-A-Lot. You know what I mean? So before I even did a deal with Rap-A-Lot, my first Smoke-A-Lot Records deal was with Geffen Records. You know what I mean? I got an artist called Fastball Cellini signed to Geffen. That was my first deal. So I've been at Smoke-A-Lot Records since '96. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, incorporated. Yeah. Then we went to Rap-A-Lot in '98, right after that. You know what I mean? So I've been at Smoke-A-Lot.
And is that the label you're pushing today? Smoke-A-Lot is your label?
It's still Smoke-A-Lot, still with blessings from the big homie. He could have said, oh, you can't use a lot, you know, man. So with blessings from Rap-A-Lot. Yeah. But I had a joint venture there. I left Rap-A-Lot, now I do my thing. I got a joint venture with Ghazi, you know what I mean, over there at Empire.
So still pushing the independent movement.
Still killing it, you know what I mean,
Now, the interesting thing about your smash success, I Got 5 on it, is it came out in what, 93?
Nah, actually, we wrote it in 93. We laid the actual song in 93 and then dropped it till 95.
Okay.
So we held on to that bitch for 2 years, literally.
Wow.
And still came out killing them.
Did you feel, when you started to bubble, did you started to feel some jealousy in your neighborhood? Were a lot of guys kind of jealous of what your success became? Or were people pushing for you, or was it kind of a combination of all the above?
Both. You get both. You get people proud of you. You know what I mean? You putting on for the neighborhood. You bigging the neighborhood up. You shooting videos in the neighborhood and shit. Everybody going on tour with you and shit. But it's the ugly side. You know what I mean? Right. The people who hate that. You know what I mean? The people who always had money. Now you got money. You outdoing them. They mad. You know what I mean? So I got shit. I got shot. in my neighborhood
Wow.
before I got 5 on it. You know what I mean? Just off the strength of, I think it was the Ice Cream Man. You know what I mean? We just did the Ice Cream Man, and they was mad.
There's
you know
a
what
certain
I mean?
jealousy that sets in with people,
We just
right?
did the Ice Cream Man video in the Ville, and they was jealous. So
yeah, and there's a saying: familiarity breeds contempt. People closest to you can become your enemy, and
because they know everything about you. You know what I mean? And no disrespect to my neighborhood, but we a neighborhood that eat each other. You know what I mean? No Frank Ocean, but we go at each other's throat. It's like it couldn't like. Too many people can't infiltrate that structure, you know what I mean? You can't get in, but we wiped each other out, period. You know what I mean? Wiped each other out, like became our worst enemies, you know what I mean? Like all my homies, whoever got shot in my neighborhood was from somebody from my neighborhood. You know what I mean? Period.
Just
it was never like I've been
in
hanging out on the wrong territory. Nah, you got shot or stabbed by somebody in your own neighborhood. So our neighborhood was notorious, man. I'm blessed to even make it out. You
and
know
a lot of rap artists, you know, you've seen some real tragedies throughout the years where guys get taken down in their own cities, you know.
Fast.
Was that part of the reason you kind of moved out from Oakland?
Man, at the end of the day, I was too connected. I'm in the Ville.
It's a smart
That's one
move.
of the most notorious neighborhoods. I'm connected, man. My crew's YGTO. They still bang GTO to this day in the Ville. My crew was crazy.
So you had a red dot on your chest.
A lot of niggas in my crew are dead or doing triple life in jail, period. Wow. Or double life, all types of shit. Niggas was terrorists of the Ville, period. Terrorized the Ville, still to this day. So my niggas is crazy, period.
Right.
So I had to separate because I would have been right in the middle of that.
Smart move.
Right in the middle of that
Smart
shit, period.
move.
So I separated, but I still represent, you know what I mean? Represent the Ville. I'm from there. I could never deny where I'm from, you know what I mean? But as a hanging out and just doing all the extra shit that people do to keep the street credit going, I can't do that.
Right.
You know?
So you graduated from that aspect of your life and you came out to LA. And, you know, a lot of the people that you've worked with are just legends, you know, from Sibo to Brother Lynch Hung,
yes, man.
Mac Dre,
yes, man.
Jacka,
yes, man.
Messy Marv, JT, the Bigger Figure, Lil Flip. I mean, it reads like a who's list. And you know, you've also beefed with a lot of guys, man, from the Gonzos, the Spider Lokes, and all these different guys. But tell us a little bit as you've evolved as a human being, what beef is now in this day and age.
At the end of the day, man, that shit don't make no money. You know what I mean? That shit don't make no money and it don't make no sense sometimes, especially when it's a phone call away or a meeting away. You know what I mean? When motherfuckers can squash it now. If it's real shit that's going down in the street, you know what I mean? Like some gang shit and people done lost lives and shit. Like they be trying to get the Crips and the Bloods to stop. It's been too many casualties, too many people done died for them to be like, nah, you know what I mean? So when it's shit like that, hey, you gotta go for broke. But if it ain't come to no casualties, no demonstrations, it's just been a misunderstanding that somebody ride for their record label or ride for their crew, you know what I mean, or mad at something somebody did, man, all that shit could be discussed, you know what I mean?
Right.
And, you know what I mean, nipped in the bud and wiped out. You know, like I had beef with Spider Low. After the shit, I ain't even had beef with him, first of all. I ain't had beef with him. I had beef with G-Unit.
Right.
50 Cent. I ain't even had beef with G-Unit. It was just 50 Cent mainly.
Right.
I wasn't even on G-Unit like that. I was just on 50 Cent because of our affiliation, rap out affiliation with Irv Gotti. Suge, Irv, and Jay was making a label. So when the shit happened with Irv and them, you know what I mean? You know, like labels got hit by feds. Like, I don't know, that shit was real.
Hip
You know
Hop
what I mean?
Police, it was real.
Shit, I was driving down Wilshire and I seen the Death Row headquarters getting hit by the feds. Irv and them got hit in the Def Jam building. They try to hit Rap a lot. Jay the Teflon Don, it didn't work. So this shit is really going down. So nigga, at this time, I love no Frank Ocean, but that Get Rich or Die Trying, I'm banging the shit out of that. Like, this the realest shit I done heard in a minute. I'm like, what up, blood? What up, cuz? I get that phone call, like, shit. I gotta go. I gotta, you know what I mean? I gotta ride for my label. And I gotta ride for, you know what I mean, the motherfuckers that's putting food on my table, you know what I mean? Or trying to take food off. If you're trying to get the record labels hit by the feds and ATF and shit and all that, that's taking food off our table. So I had to ride for that. I never had no problem with 50 Cent personally. It was that. Nigga, our label getting hit by the feds and they trying to take our labels down because of shit he was talking. I don't know what he was talking, but niggas got hit and that was serious. That wasn't no joke. So yeah, we went in, period. So with me going in on 50, you get Spider riding.
You got Spider Low coming
Spider,
in.
he got signed and he's riding for G-Unit. You know what I mean? So we seen each other and some shit went down. But the best thing about that, you know what I mean, we were able to link up a few days later, you know what I mean, by one of the big homies, T.Y. He put us face to face, you know what I mean? We discussed our problems, we squashed, and I got my chain back. Now, at that meeting, we both was like, we got caught in the midst of riding for our record labels. At that time, I was in the middle about to leave Rap-A-Lot, you know what I mean, period. You know, the G-Unit beef, you know what I mean? Right when that started, I was done with Rap-A-Lot because, you know, I was owed a couple dollars and they didn't want to pay me. So I was on strike at that time. That's when I started doing the regime mixtapes. So I wasn't even on Rap-A-Lot like at this time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm not really feeling them because they owed me some money. So Spider, I don't know if he was really feeling 50 at that time, but he was on some same shit like, yo, we got caught up in some shit we really ain't got nothing to do with. So we squashed our shit and moved on. You know what I mean? Same
shout
with,
out to Spider Loc.
so,
You
yeah,
and the Loc are
man,
cool.
Boss. He didn't have to meet up with me. You know what I mean? Period. He could have said, told his homie, y'all, fuck them. I'm with the unit, with the whoa. He was a man. He didn't come with no crew. I ain't come with no crew. We met up face to face. And this same dude, T.Y., squashed me and Master P beef. You know what I mean? Me and Master P had the beef over the ice cream man. Everybody know I was the first to make it. So boom, the Luniz was the first to put it on out there, whatever. So T.Y. got us at the same location where I squashed the Spider Loc beef, got us in the same location, man. P coming this motherfucker, man, tall than a motherfucker. I'm playing pool. I don't know if I gotta grab this pool stick and hit this motherfucker upside the head. I don't know what I gotta do, because it ain't, I don't know if we squashed it. It wasn't discussed to squash. He just popped up. I'm like, okay, man, what type of shit is this? I'm playing pool. He's like, what's up? We get to talking and shit, and we get to squash it, you know what I mean? Instantly squash it. But I was ready to hit the nigga in the head with a pool stick. He tall as fuck. I'm like, oh, hold on, man. What type of shit is this? You know what I mean? So anyway, we end up squashing our shit as men, you know what I mean, and move forward. So at the end of the day, it's about people coming together, man, and getting past the bullshit, because a lot of shit can happen in the streets. A lot of people could get shot, killed, stabbed, jumped, all this shit. Like, we seen the Almighty J situation go down, you know what I mean, in New
that
York.
situation is just crazy.
Off, you know what I mean, off just being at the wrong place at the wrong time, or rocking with the wrong niggas, or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? You could tell that really wasn't no real beef. You know what I mean? That was just at the moment. You know what I mean? So when it's shit like that, man, and people getting, you know, you gotta be able to calm shit down, period, before it escalate to some old other shit. You know what I mean?